Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. So, before we get started, I feel that I should give a disclaimer. Because this review, like yesterday, well, let's just put it this way. I didn't watch Brock TV's review yet. But if you like your stuff on a more sensitive side, of me not going harsh on certain characters, then I understand if you have to leave the room and watch his review. I didn't watch his review yet, but I know he's tend to go a lot more nicer with Nina than I would. For everyone else that's staying, let's get into it. Oh man, I feel like I start to need to drink some wine or something more stronger. With some of these reviews. Okay, so I'm just at this point, I'm done with Nina. I am absolutely done with this trash ass character. As I was watching this episode today, the emotion that I had brought me back to my first review. My first review, when I was pretty much swearing like a sailor. I'm going to try to refrain from swearing as much as possible, but yeah. You want to tell me why this insensitive bitch decided to go off on Carly during her husband's funeral? Now, okay, you want to have words with her? Fine. You want to go at it? Okay. But she didn't just ruin the funeral or, the last part of the funeral for her. She did it to her kids. Jocelyn, Michael, I don't know if, I don't remember if Christina was there, but she did it in front of them. Her kids are mourning their father. And you decided that now was the best time to have it out with Carly. Damn everyone else. Damn their feelings. Wow. Talk about selfish. I'm trying not to use the B word as much as possible. This chick had the audacity. After Carly was like, your daughter, you mean the one that slashed Brooklyn's neck? That slashed Brooklyn's throat? Nina said, I know my daughter was damaged. I know my daughter was troubled. I don't know what trouble is in her world, but in the real world where everyone else lives, that's not trouble. Okay? That is a sociopath. That is a homicidal maniac. Okay? I would have paid money to watch Carly beat the living hell out of her. She downplayed every single thing that Nell has ever done to anyone. My daughter wasn't given a chance. I swear, I almost feel like, was the writers even just like, did they even sit there and look at their notes? Or even remember the stuff that Nell has did to people? The fact that she came out her mouth and said that after damn near the town has given her chance after chance, and she just completely ruined it. But that wasn't enough. No, that wasn't enough. Carly's responsibility was to save that trash-ass character. That was Carly's responsibility. You could have saved my daughter, but you didn't. You wanted my daughter to... I wish you would have said, yeah, I did. Because she deserved it. because her life towards the end was meaningless. And I know that's a harsh thing to say. I know it is. But when she used her own child as a damn weapon, your life becomes meaningless at that point. I'm almost, you know what? I think I'm probably going to watch Brock TV's review after this. But if anyone wants to just kind of let me know what his thoughts are before I get to it, that'd be well appreciated. So yeah, she was just going off, saying a bunch of personal digs at her. Well, your husband died off a cliff just like my daughter did, yada yada yada, and just kept going and spouting off all sorts of BS. And Carly, I'm surprised she had that much restraint, because that's not like Carly. I'm surprised Jason wasn't holding her back from ripping out every last single root out of her head. But she continued, and she went off, and then she was all like, well, I have money, and I have the resources to sit there and defend my poor, tragic daughter. And then she told Jax off. And Jax, well, listen, even though that what Nell was saying about how Jax doesn't get to have a life, he doesn't get to have anything outside of what Carly wanted, and even though that some of that was true, you know what? I just don't give a damn. Because at the end of the day, Nina is a trash-ass character, and I'm done with her. And she walked off. And Jax, you know what? At the end of it, you're better off. By the way, Carly did say some stuff about Nina too, as far as, you know, seeing her true colors. You know, the I want to sit there and take Ava's baby because it was all about her and her emotions and her feelings and not giving a damn about anyone else. Yeah, that was in full display. She walked off, and then everyone went back home, and Diane just lost it. And you know what? She is well entitled to that, because there was stuff that she didn't know that she gets paid money for to protect their family, but she can't be the last person to know. She can't. But at the end of it, at the end of her, I don't want to sit there and say temper tantrum, because she really had valid points. She said to Jason, when Jason was like, how bad is it? Nina was like, well, you know what? They had no proof. Yes, I know that there's a limit on murder and stuff like that. And by the way, the audacity of that bitch to actually sit there and go to Jordan and say, my daughter's murder. Carly murdered my daughter. Some crap that she said. Now I get it. Nina is in full-blown protective mode. Her daughter and everything like that. And she clearly is making up for years that she didn't get with her daughter. And I get that. But, you know, she actually used the word hypocrisy or something along those lines. Wow. Just amazing. But yeah, Diane was like, you know what, listen. The Philadelphia police closed the case because they didn't have any evidence. She doesn't have any evidence. And as long as there's no pressure from the PCP or PCD or, you know, I'm so angry at you. The Port Charles Police Department. Then everything should be fine. But of course, everything is not going to be fine because Nina just has to be Nina. And, you know what? Even if it does happen, what are they going to have? What are they going to sit there and have? But you know what? Well, I guess we got to go back to HIPAA. And, remember how much they just, Port Charles didn't give a damn about HIPAA. So, you know what? I guess we'll just be in for a ride. And you know what? Listen, I get that Carly has to have a new villain. Nina just has to play the villain. That's fine. That's why they got a new actress for it. That's just my guess. Is that the last actress that played Nina just didn't like the fact that, well, she was turning into a trash-ass character, so she left, and she's now on Young and Restless, and I wish her the best. And maybe one day I will watch that show. But they gotta make Nina the new villain, so sure, whatever. You know, there's this part of me that wants to apologize to the people that's watching this, to my subscribers that are watching this, because I'm coming across, well, harsh and mean and using profanity. But that's just how I feel. That's really how I feel. That's just my opinion. And I can't apologize for my opinion. And even though I did give that disclaimer, that's still just the way I stand. That's how I stand in the matter. Well, I feel better. Mostly. I'm just wondering where the hell do I... Okay, so you know what? Let's talk about Jordan and Curtis. Because that was another, I would sit there and say, big thing that happened in this episode. And by the way, I am so pissed off my DVR for not recording it. I don't even know if it was a new episode. And I had to watch it on YouTube, and that sucked. Because I couldn't watch it on ABC.com. I couldn't watch it on Hulu. And clearly I'm not going to watch it on demand because... Anyway, let's talk about Curtis and Jordan. So, you know what? Curtis actually finally made up his mind. When he came in there and Jordan was like, I haven't seen you at home for 2 months. And I was like, damn, bro, 2 months? Really? But, you know, Curtis was like, we need to separate. You know, not divorce, not whatever, just separate so that way we can figure out who we are before we try to go back together. You know, get back together. By the way, if I haven't sit there and said this, I still do miss the replacement Jordan. I'm glad that this actress is COVID-free and she's back at work, and I think that is an amazing thing, and I am happy for the actress that I cannot bother to remember her name or even bother to look it up. But as far as the actress goes, happy for you. Not being sarcastic that she survived COVID, but still miss the old actress. It's very rare that they actually do get a good replacement, and I'm still shocked to this day. But anyway, I do feel somewhat bad for Jordan. Listen, I know that Curtis has every right to be upset about the way that Jordan was lying to him, and he understood that there were certain things that she couldn't tell him because of work, but after a while, work and personal life start to blend in. He just got tired of it, and I understand where Curtis is coming from, but I get where Jordan is coming from. Not as far as what she did was right, but as far as making mistakes and just kind of going through the motions of eventually I'll fix it. You know? I think at some point everyone has been in that position where they made mistakes, and when it finally caught up to them in their relationship, it was too late to fix. You know? And I'm not getting Jordan a pass. I'm just there saying I understand where she's coming from. And, you know, Curtis left. He was like, we're just going to separate and kind of work on us. You know? Because even, you know, Jordan was like, you know, we can do marriage counseling, we can skate around the truth, whatever. But I'm glad that Curtis made up his mind. Because, to be honest, as understanding I was with Curtis, being in limbo sucks for anyone. So, he made up his mind. She was upset. She was crying. And he walked off. And, I think it needed to happen. I think the separation needed to happen. And, this isn't the first time that they ran into problems over her lying. So, yeah. Now Cyrus Cyrus corners Britt and tells her about the board meeting. Even though she's not a member, he still wants her input. So he brings her up to the meeting, and, you know, Portia's like, what's going on? You know, because she sees, I felt like she looked at the situation and looked at the fact that Britt was uncomfortable and stepped in. And he invites her also to the board meeting. So the board meeting happens, and Cyrus is talking about this new pain medication that's going to be good for the hospital financially and good for the patients. He asks Britt for her input. Britt gives the answer that Cyrus is looking for, but also stating, hey, listen, this isn't my expertise, okay? I'm not in pain management. That's not my department. So I can't speak on, how good or bad the drug is, but, whatever. She gave Cyrus what he wanted because, to be honest, she didn't have a choice. Portia, on the other hand, from what I can tell from the really bad copy, that she gave a lot of pushback. At some point, Leslie Spencer came in there. She came in there and she objected. At some point, Cyrus was like, listen, you're not a board member. And Portia was like, yeah, that may be so, but I can sit there and block it temporarily. Now, the board wasn't too pleased about that. I mean, the board seemed like they were really ready for this new drug to better the hospital, better the pockets, and all that good stuff. But I guess they're going to do another meeting, another official meeting. This was kind of like a pre-meeting or something, I guess. So everyone kind of, separated. And Cyrus walked up to Leslie and was like, hey, listen, your stunt made to pause the whole thing, but it's not going to stop it from, getting what I want. And Leslie brings up Leslie. I know her name is Lulu. I'm pretty sure her name is Leslie, though. But brings up Lulu and the fact that, she's in a coma. And, she was like, well, how do you sleep tonight? And blah, 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 blah. And Cyrus was like, well, I'm going to sleep like a damn baby tonight. And he walks off, and he talks to Portia, and I'm not going to lie, I guess I was kind of still fuming from the whole Nina thing, but, they talk for a little bit, and I don't remember what they talk about, to be honest. Oh, that's what it is. Cyrus brings up the fact that, hey, listen, if you talk to Jordan to help look for my mother, then I will get Taggart released. You play ball, I'll play ball, and we'll work, and, everyone will be happy. So he walks off, and Portia is just standing there, sees Curtis, and is like, listen, I'm not trying to get you in the middle of stuff, but we need to talk about your wife. And the scene just ends right there. Olivia decides to leave the Quartermaines, the Quartermaine mansion, and Monica reminds her, listen, at the end of the day, you're still a Quartermaine. So, you may be done with the, living here, but you're not done with our family in general. And that pretty much just kind of ends that. That just kind of summarized that scene. Now, there's a scene with Dante and Sam. Now, I've been reading the comment section, not just my own comments, but just the comments in general of the clips that I've watched about the whole Dante and Sam being a thing or whatever. And you know what? There was a part of me that just got somewhat pissed off at the way that Sam was acting. So, Sam got back from the funeral with Dante and Olivia, and they're talking in the living room, drinking or whatever, and Sam was like, I can't remember exactly what she said because the copy was so bad, but she seemed like she was relieved about not being part of, in Jason's world, because she would have had to be there to clean up the mess with the whole Nina situation and everything like that. And she seemed like she was just grateful for not being a part of that world anymore. And I'm sitting there thinking, I don't know how to feel about that because, listen, there was some bad stuff that happened between Sam and Jason. A lot of bad memories. But there are a lot of good memories also. And I feel like the way that she was acting, like she just kind of like, ugh, so glad I don't have to deal with that. It's like, I'm sorry, sweetheart, but I'm pretty sure there were good moments also that you're just choosing to neglect, but okay, sure, whatever. Anyway, she talks about how she's happy that she's not part of the world, and she's gonna be a new Sam, and Sam and Dante shake hands, and Olivia, you know, kind of stands at the corner, of the living room like a creep, and kind of smiles, because I guess she sees what's going on, and yeah. Honestly, tell you the truth, here's my prediction: Sam and Dante are gonna be a thing, and no one is gonna like that. Well, I would sit there and say maybe 85% of the population that are GH fans are not going to like it. By the way, did anyone like Sam when she was with Patrick? Now, I missed those moments because I took a hiatus from the show, but I do remember that being a thing, and I'm sitting there thinking, did they just run out of ideas? But then again, I don't know. I wasn't there for it. I didn't see how the relationship was, so I can only speculate. Sonny was talking to... One second. Sonny was sitting there talking to Phyllis that he remembered something. He remembered a woman, and I don't remember if he said she was important to me or whatever, but Phyllis is like, that could be your wife, because that's the wedding band or whatever, and Sonny just kind of skulks it off like, it could be nothing, whatever. And then Phyllis talks about Nina, because she's a thing, and she's new villain, so yay. Anyway, she was just talking about how she was disappointed that she didn't give Nina the answers that she was hoping for, and I should tell you if I just don't care. I mean, I don't care about how, like how Nina's gonna take anything, because, again, I just written that character off. Let's see if anything else that I missed. Oh, Jason talks to Britt about Cyrus and his plan as far as the new drug that he's gonna be rolling out. They're gonna have another board meeting, and Britt was like, I played along, and Jason was pretty much like, good. It was a good thing that you played along. Yeah, that was pretty much about it. I don't think I'm really missed anything else. Let me just double check them. Anyway, I think I'm done with, I think I kind of talked about everything. If I missed anything, just let me know in the comment section down below. Sorry's review came out a little bit later than I expected it to. I kind of had an errand to do that took a lot longer than, I wanted it to take, and by the time I got back, I wanted to eat something. Because I knew what I was walking into. I knew that Nina was going to just be an ass today in this episode. And I was like, you know what? If I do this on an empty stomach, I have no idea what the words would have flew out of my mouth. So, anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening to my rant. And all that good stuff. Be safe. I will catch everyone in the next review.